recipients of the VELTECH Mahatma Gandhi The Hindu Merit Means Scholarship. May I now request Mr. Ram to distribute these 10 scholarships. Mr. Mohammad Asha, 41,000. Mr. Ashok, 45,500. Ms. Lakshmi, 41,000. Mr. Kiran Oja, 45,500. Mr. Matan Babu, 45,500. Ms. Renuka Devi, 45,500. Ms. Akshaya, 45,500. Mr. Rajesh Nair, 45,500. Mr. Amal Raj, 45,500. And Ms. Gayatri, 41,000.
He needs no introduction. He is the editor-in-chief of the Hindu, Frontline Magazine, Business Line Daily, and the Sports Star Weekly of the Hindu Group of publications based in Chennai, and a political journalist and analyst. He has been in the media field since 1966. He was formerly associate editor of the Hindu, and between 1980 and 1982, the newspaper's Washington correspondent. His areas of special journalistic interest include Indian politics, India's foreign policy and nuclear policy, external pressures on India's economic and political sovereignty, issues of corruption and abuse of power, the challenge of communalism and fundamentalism in India, the Sri Lankan ethnic crisis and India's interaction with it, freedom of expression issues, and the role of media in society. He led the Hindu's investigation into the Bofors arm deal corruption scandal, and before that, in 1980-81, he did an extended investigation and analysis of the conditionality of India's controversial 5 billion extended fund facility arrangement with the International Monetary Fund. Honors and awards include the Padma Bhushan for journalism in 1990, the Asian Investigative Journalist of the Year Award for the Press Foundation of Asia 1990, the B.D. Goenka Award for Excellence in Journalism 1989, the National Citizens Award 1995, XLRI's first J.R.D. Tata Award for Business Ethics 2002, Sri Lanka Ratna, Sri Lanka's highest national honor conferred on a non-nationals, conferred by the President of Sri Lanka on November 14, 2005. He is co-author with Susan Ram of the biography R.K. Narayan, The Early Years 1906-1945, and the author of Riding the Nuclear Tiger, a signpost publication, New Delhi 1999. His research publications include studies of the nuclear dispute and Indian perspective, an independent press and anti-hunger strategies, the Indian experience. The latter was published in a book, The Political Economy of Hunger, Volume 1, Entitlements and Well-Being. A 15,000 essay work, The Great Indian Media Bazaar, Emerging Trends and Issues for the Future, has been published in India. Another Millennium, edited by Romila Thapar of Penguin, India. He is closely associated as a trustee of the Media Development Foundation with the recently launched Asian College of Journalism in Chennai, India. The mandate of the MDF is to offer postgraduate journalism education and in career training of quality and relevance, and to engage in focused media-related research. He is the president of Harmony India Chennai, an organization dedicated to the promotion of communal harmony and secularism. May I now invite Shri N. Ram, Editor-in-Chief, The Hindu, to address the gathering.
Honorable Minister, our straightforward and excellent and progressive Minister for Higher Education, Chancellor, Pro-Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, Directors, members of the faculty and my student friends, also parents who are here on this occasion, and media colleagues. I'm delighted to have this opportunity to felicitate an excellent group of institutions, but above all the vision behind the founding of this. I followed with interest Dr. Rangarajan's progression development of institutions and values from the time he was a teacher, then an industrialist, and building brick by brick in partnership with Dr. Shakuntala Rangarajan, and later on younger members of the family and other team members, this excellent group, and I commend them for this remarkably long-sighted and progressive scheme of scholarships. An astonishingly large number of scholarships given, and I think distributed so well. In fact, virtually every state and union territory in this country has been benefited, at least for a start, and very few institutions I know in any field are so open-handed and long-sighted in their vision. So I congratulate particularly the senior leaders of this institution and group for this outstanding contribution to education and society. The scholarship scheme, I've had an opportunity to listen to some of the ideas from the younger members behind this group, and I think they thought big, because people at the top, the seniors, thought big and wanted to be open-handed. I think a great thing has happened in the educational field, particularly in southern India, led perhaps by Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu in terms of numbers and also in terms of quality. Many people coming together to contribute to this effort. There are many challenges before those who venture into the field of engineering and technical education of this kind, but we are impressed with the fact that they have over a 20-year period or so successfully overcome these challenges. Policies adopted by the state governments in the south, supported by the central governments, have contributed to the success of these ventures. I remember a time when it was extremely hard to get into any engineering college, the kind of difficulties our young people face in entering the field of medicine, for example, today, where there are too few seats. That situation has changed radically over this period, and although the quality of education imparted by these institutions, perhaps more than 1,000 of them now in the south, varies, is extremely uneven, and there are people who shouldn't be there in the field. There are some malpractices and so on, sharp practices, but by and large, this is a tremendous asset to society, and institutions like the VELTECH group, the university here, and its various constituent parts, the groups, parts of the group, have set very high standards. If you ask yourself what makes for the success of institutions of higher learning, say a top-class engineering college, a technical university, I think many of us would think of the following factors without being exhaustive. These are some of the things that make a big difference. One is the academic program and how it has diversified, also the areas of focus. And here there are 11 institutions, very different, but very well chosen. You have avoided the medical field, I think, advisedly, because there are many problems there. So the academic program, I think, is very important. What you choose, what you decide not to get into, and so on, that makes a huge difference. And these are extremely relevant to current day aspirations and needs. The second factor, I think, is the quality and commitment of the faculty, of teachers. That's where I hear when we go to various institutions in the south, people say they're not enough. There's a huge shortage of high quality and committed faculty members, teachers. Although the rewards are improving, have improved, it's very hard to retain them over a long period, and perhaps at the government level over the long term, policies need to address this. There are too few qualified teachers. As for commitment, no government can guarantee that. I think it has to be hard earned in institutions of this kind. But anyway, that's the second factor. And This university, the whole group, I think, has been blessed with very good faculty. This is what we learn. The third thing, I think, is admissions. How clean and transparent and open your admission policy is, what kind of entrance exam is conducted or not conducted, how fair it is. That, I think, is important. I'll come to the question of access in a minute. What makes for the success of great institutions. But that's the third thing, admissions. And here, we are proud to see students from every part of India, virtually every nook and corner of India represented here, symbolized by the welcome that we got when we came here, representing different states. That's, I think, factor number 3. Then you come to infrastructure and amenities, and you can see the spacious campus, the long-sighted policy of the Rangarajans in acquiring the land and putting it to extremely good social use, socially productive use in this field. You are not short of land, and I think that, and also the building, the construction programs have been extremely impressive. 5 comes interaction with the industry. There's no time to go into the details, but the university and all the institutions here swear by it. You have to interact, internship, hands-on, practical work and experience is the key. Then comes, I think, placement. Placement is very important, because whatever you say about learning for learning's sake, at the end of the day, young people and also their parents and all those who have sacrificed to make this possible, to get them here, I think they expect reasonable returns in terms of placement, career opportunities, whichever career you choose to go into or can get into. And the placement record, I think, has been extremely good. Then comes the real challenge, which I think I read in the vision statement about human resource development. I think the challenge for all involved in education, and in fact involved in any intellectual field, is this. On the one hand, you want to pursue excellence, high standards. You want to become world class in every respect. On the other hand, we are in a country where there's a great deal of deprivation, mass deprivation, everywhere. People who are talented, their talent being recognized. Even if they study well in school, they cannot get here. So you got to reach out and open your gates and doors wide. Without making education accessible, without broadening that access, without reaching out to the most disadvantaged sections of society, I think no use pursuing excellence or high standards. Then you would be accused of being elitist. Very, very easy for me to say this, very hard to achieve it in practice. But this, I think, this tension or contradiction between the pursuit of excellence and providing access, I think, is at the heart of all educational activity. I think our Honorable Minister is particularly interested in this aspect of the challenge and also opportunity in India, and this is where I appreciate greatly the policy approach and attitudes of the VELTECH group, the kind of open-handedness that we have seen. It need not be looked on as a favor done to young people. It's a long-sighted policy that recognizes the need to broaden access. That's how I look at it. It's not charity, but it is empowering young people. It's empowering ourselves, our society, when they do this. So I really commend Doctors Rangarajan and all others involved in this field, including my friends, the Times of India, and I'm very happy that the Hindu has also had a small role in promoting these scholarships, but I must confess, we didn't initiate it, they initiated it. Mahalakshmi and Kishore and others came to us, and I'm sure the same thing for Nainan, and I think the media will respond if it's made aware of these opportunities. These are some of the ideas that occurred to me when I was invited to come here, but we are delighted that You're doing so well. You are a recession-proof sector, it appears. Many of us are affected by including newspapers, the media are affected by the economic slowdown, but the education sector, particularly the education sector that you are involved with here, seems to be recession-proof, and it's heartening to see those happy faces of young people, young men and young women here. I congratulate you on this. Finally, a word on women. We know that the situation is improving. In many good engineering colleges, now 25 or 30% of the intake of the student intake is female. Unfortunately, the IITs haven't attained that status. It's still in the single digits, I think, 5 or 7%. For some reasons that needs to be investigated. But looking at the large number of women here also getting these scholarships, getting recognition, awards and so on, I think that's something to be proud of. So I can go on about these things, but we have all come here to listen to our minister and what she can promise by way of policy support and so on. So I'll close here wishing you every success and every happiness.
Thank you so much, sir.